Thank you for joining me on this recent edition of HighIQGenius.com, where knowledge is power. I want to start off today by talking about a recent experience that I had where I saved one of my best friends' lives. Now, before I begin, let me say that this podcast is designed for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as medical advice or legal counsel. This is my experience that I'm sharing with you and how you can and are changing the world that we live in. Now, this experience took place about 2 years ago, and it's weighed heavy on my mind for some time because it involves one of my very, very best friends. In fact, I've known this gentleman for almost 25 years. And to put this into some context, let me start off by saying he is a very intelligent doctor. In fact, he's a pathologist. And he has always been known as the happy-go-lucky, outgoing, life of the party type of a gentleman. In fact, I loved and love being around him because he always had a smile on his face. Little did I know there was something deeply wrong that he was going through. And so during a conversation we had by telephone one day, all of a sudden he said, "Robert, I can't take it anymore." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I'm so depressed, I'm going to go out in my backyard and hang myself." Well, I stopped and took notice of that statement, and I was frozen. But then I said something, and it was the first thing that came into my mind. And I said, "That is a permanent solution to a temporary problem." And all of a sudden, he burst into laughter. And of course, that lightened the topic for a moment, but it didn't solve necessarily the underlying problem. Now, we continued with our conversation, and I explained to him that he's the doctor, not me. But after some discovery, I made a suggestion after he made the comment, "I have been a pathologist for 32 years, and I just can't take it anymore." So I said to him, and please keep this in mind, I can't imagine the tremendous stress that goes with being a doctor of pathology, where you literally have people's lives in your own hand. And your decision or decisions could result in a person living or dying, or could impact greatly their quality of life. So I suggested to him, I said, maybe you should take some time off. In fact, maybe you should think of retiring. Because I'd known Dave for 25 years, and he is a very successful doctor, but also an investor and entrepreneur. I said, you certainly don't need any more money. So he said, you know what? I think I'm going to do just that. A couple of days later, he called me and he said, Robert, I want you to help me with my letter of resignation or retirement. So we went through it for a few moments, and he walked in to his hospital where he'd been a fixture for 32 years and handed in his retirement letter. I call it a retirement letter and not a letter of resignation because it truly was a retirement. And here's what happened. He called me back and he said, I turned in my letter of resignation. There's no turning back now. I am officially retired. And I said, Dave, congratulations. I think you're ready for the next chapter of your life. And probably 3 weeks or a month went by, and he called me, and he was in some Caribbean island with his family. And he said to me, and I'll never forget it, he said, Robert, you saved my life. I was going to go into my backyard and hang myself. And when you told me that's a permanent solution to a temporary problem, it just made me laugh and it stuck. And since I haven't been back to work, I have found a renewed love for my life, my family, and most importantly, myself. And he said, Robert, I want to thank you for saving my life. So today I want you to think about something. There's a saying, we save one, we save them all. If there's somebody in your life, maybe you're not even aware of it, that looks outwardly to be happy-go-lucky, never miss the opportunity to offer your help, a kind word. And if something appears to be wrong, it is. Get that person the help they need. Everyone deserves happiness and joy in their life. And we don't know when a person is going through challenges that they feel are too big for them to handle. So I want to close the podcast today by saying, I care about all people. In fact, my grandmother used to say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So I'm grateful for all of the people that have tuned in to the High IQ Genius podcast. I'm here to be a part of the solution. Please comment below, and if you have a moment, please subscribe. It does help us help more people. And in the meantime, be the best that you can be. Be happy. Be awesome. And remember, at the end of the day, it's the world against you, and I'm betting on you. Thank you.